hard for me to accept that, well, I mean, would you say Jesus is downright evil and is behind all this stuff of polluting us and, screwing us up and shortening our lifespans and making us sick? Is that Jesus' work?
That's Belial. And so I guess I should have explained it a little further. So the Rome doesn't invent anything very well, but they can take ingenious inventions by really good intending people, and they can turn them on their head and then sell them like they've never been sold before. And so that's what this is. They basically took the teachings of the original founder of the fourth philosophy and his brother James the Just, and they turned it on its head and then sold it through a package named Jesus Christ that never physically existed and so therefore never had a soul. And so this anthropomorphical creation is a mechanical entity that lives only in the mind of the believer. And I mean, if you're into demonology, you can definitely make the argument that it's in the ether too, and doesn't require humans to give it input anymore because it's been in existence for this long now that it's kind of a permanent fixture, unless the same effort is made to remove it. But the original fourth philosophy movement, when I get those warm fuzzies about Jesus and the words that you said from the Gospel of Thomas, Miguel, and I wanted to add to the quote from Thomas, but I'll do that later, is that those quotes are from James. Typically, they were from James.
Well, the Gospel of Thomas just says if you want to know everything, James is the guy you go to.
So that was the one time that we're listening to Judas, Yehuda, which they changed to Yeshua. Wasn't a hard change, but Yehuda was talking about his brother James because James was actually the spiritual teacher of righteousness of the group, and that Judas didn't hold a candle to him as far as his righteousness, which was how they ranked each other among the Ebionite Essene community. Mm-hmm. You were not ranked by elderness. You were not ranked by what you owned or what coercions that you had over your fellow member of the camp. You were ranked by righteousness, which could change if you made bad decisions instantly. But James was the most righteous person in the whole camp. They compared him to the ancient righteous teacher that had come 600 years earlier in all of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which they could not name. But that ancient righteous teacher I found through a researcher named Bob Young and through Robert Eisenman was Pythagoras, most definitely. He was the original teacher of righteousness in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and that's why the church is hell-bent on making sure that we never know that that's a Pythagorean movement. They want us to always think it's Jewish, which doesn't make sense because the Jews don't eat the way that James ate. James never touched meat from birth. And so, when people say, well, how did Jesus eat meat if he was raised in the same house with James and they had the same mother? Well, then the Christian apologists try to separate the households. They give Jesus one mother named Mary. They give James another mother named Mary. And then they tell us that they're sisters, the George Foreman sisters.